Boys and girls, lads and lassies, what is happening? Turbo Toys here. But you can call me Turbo, and today we are going to look at an incarnation of the Reverend of Reincarnation. A man who is the best in the world at what he does. A man that we all ask to save us. Boys, it's time to break down the walls with none other than Chris Jericho. Yes boys, right, so here he is. This Chris Jericho was based on his appearance at the August 9th episode of SmackDown from 2001. And he did wear this attire on a few more occasions, but for me I think it's one of his most iconic attires from his early WWE run. And I think Jericho has masterminded so many decent characters throughout his illustrious Hall of Fame career. And even from this time period he gave us some great promo work, mainly destroying Stephanie McMahon. But let's take a look at this figure, starting with a head scan. Right, now this was made using Jericho's Elite 20 head scan, and the reason for going with that scan was because I feel like the likeness was spot on to try and portray that version of Jericho. Plus, it includes that famous Jericho smirk that we've all come to know and love. And even years later used a version of this head scan for his Defining Moments figure, and that's how good it is. I sculpted on a beard because through this time period he did sport a number of very stylish facial hair. And as for the long hair, now I don't want to take credit for it because I see this done years ago by a guy on Facebook. I can't remember exactly who it was. And bear in mind it was done when this hairpiece was a lot more harder to obtain. It's the hairpiece from the Battle Pack Edge, but I think it completes this Jericho's look to a T. And finishing the scan off with a subtle bit of shading, and I can't be more happy with how this turned out. As we move on to the torso choice, now every time Mattel release a Jericho, they always give him that smaller, what I like to call the cruiserweight style torso. So I thought it'd benefit from a spare Steven Regal torso that I had. And it ain't the first time I've seen it been done, but in my opinion it's so much more a better choice. And it depicts him in a much more accurate appearance. I mean, that's just my opinion, but as for the arms, they were taken from a Chris Jericho from the Paul Bearer Builder figure, so they worked out perfectly for this job. And as for the attire, I had previously done this custom before, so as luck would have it, I previously had the decal designs already made for the tights and the Jericho designs that go down the boots. So the process was I started to apply the decals on the tights, and then I tidied up the paintwork, then giving it a clear coat of sealer. I was then able to finish up putting on the knee pads knowing that the paintwork wasn't going to get all messed up. And then it was a case of putting the boots onto the figure and finishing them off by applying the decals and then tidying up all the paintwork around it before again sealing all the figure, and then the job was done. But what inspired me to make this custom was that episode of SmackDown, because it was made famous by Rhino giving Y2J a gore through the SmackDown entrance stage.
Gore through the screen! Y2J just got gored into the next millennium!
And his promo work and the build up to the SummerSlam that year was incredible, and he completely destroys Stephanie McMahon.
At SummerSlam, I'm gonna take care of that smelly, greasy, nasty animal. And I'm gonna get you too, Rhino. I mean, we're dealing with the gore and the horror.
So if you ever get a chance to watch that build up, honestly I highly recommend it because the mic work is so good, and especially when The Rock comes out it will just finish you off. But I just wanted to give you a little look into my Jericho custom from the early 2000s, and I would love to know in the comments some of your favourite Jericho promos. And it was an absolute pleasure doing this figure because it's highly unlikely that this figure is ever going to get released, or at least anytime soon. And tell me in the comments what are some of your favourite Jericho attires, but from Stephanie, Rhino and Y2J. That's going to do it for this one. Boys, if you enjoyed the episode, give it a big thumbs up, and if you've never subscribed to the channel, be sure to give the subscribe button the code breaker because you don't want to make the list.
You just made the list!
If you want to see this custom as well as my other custom work, then come check me out on Instagram and TikTok at Turbo Toys. And until that next video, I will see ya when I see ya.